So, Asian reparations, more racist rhetoric, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logical Reason. As always, I want to say thank y'all again for joining me today. So, I have another episode of Racist Rhetoric for y'all. And Asian reparations is an example of a historical crime, even though the reparations were paid out in the late 80s. But Asian reparations, anytime you, as a, not a black person, but just a person in America, and you say that if America is such a racist society that's hell bent on keeping the minorities down so that the white man can prosper, then why is it that Asian Americans are outperforming white people in just about every metric in society when it comes down to crime? Lower crime rates than white people, higher marriage success rate, lower rate of out of wedlock birth rates than black people, better income per capita, better academic achievement than white people. Just across the board, every day we can measure, Asian people are outperforming white people. Well, in response to this, black people will come up with a whole litany of any example that they can come up with to deflect against this, to excuse it away. Now, Asian reparations are one of those. Now, they will say that, well, the reason why Asian people are prospering in America because they got reparations. Even though the idea of reparations, to me, I think is pointless. Black folks are not being held back because of the lack of reparations. Trust me, there are a lot of the big problems in reparations, and as I said before, reparations is not going to solve black people's problem, because the problem with black people is not financial, it's mental. Anyway, well, if the problem with the whole Asian reparations argument is because it's not founded in any realities of history. So let's go over the actual Asian reparations. So back during World War II, when we were at war with the Axis power, which included Germany and I believe it was Italy. Yeah, Germany, Italy, and Japan. Right? When we declared war on Japan because of Pearl Harbor, there was a sizable Japanese American community in America, and a bunch of them, good bunch of them, were first generation. Now, fearing that these people would be more loyal to the emperor in Japan, that they could possibly sabotage America. So these people were put in internment camps, right? Something today that would be an absolute no-no. The left would lose their ever-loving mind, more than they're losing it already today. And you know what? I would agree. I would 100% agree with that, the putting people in internment camps. But back then it was a different story, Anyway, something like, it was estimated that about 120,000 Japanese Americans spent time in internment camps. Many of them lost a lot of wealth, land, and things, and went through a great hardship because of this. They didn't cry. You know what they did? They rolled up their sleeves, they picked up the pieces, they went back to work, they rebuilt them lives. Now, fast forward into the year 1989, Congress basically made good on these people. They decided to pay reparations to those people who had the hardship. Now, who got paid the reparations? These Asian reparations. First of all, they were Japanese Americans, not all Asians. I mean, Japanese Americans only represents a small percentage of what you considered Asian. You have pretty much all Oriental people, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, people from Cambodia, Laos. These, basically all the Oriental people are considered Asian. And then you have Filipinos are considered Asians. You have Middle Eastern people, Arabs, people from India are considered Asian. West Indies people are considered Asian. So all these people are considered Asian. So then how were these Asian reparations if they're just paid out to Japanese American? And then the only people who got reparations, the only Japanese who received reparations were those people who personally spent time in the internment camps and that was still alive. So roughly about half of those people, about 60,000 people, received reparations. No money whatsoever went to the estate of those who had spent times in those those Asian internment camps and passed on. So they didn't get anything. Only those people who were still alive and personally spent time in the internment camps got the reparations. So then how do you say that Asian people are prospering in America because of those reparations? And then by that same logic, how can black people be crying about reparations? Because if no black person today ever served as a slave, was ever a slave, then you didn't personally have an experience. So then if it's based on personal experience, you can't bring up Asian reparations or Japanese reparations as an example, because these are people who personally spent time in internment camps. There's no black person today that actually spent any time as a slave, not in America. I don't know if you came from Africa, you was a slave in Africa, the Middle East, and you escaped to America and you're free now. But you've never been a slave in America. So Asian reparations is a pointless argument when trying to talk about reparations of black people. Again, they're not Asian reparations. They're Japanese reparations to a small percentage of Japanese. That not only did that not quote unquote benefit all Asians, that didn't benefit all Japanese people. I mean, how many Japanese people in America were in America in '89 when those reparations were paid out? I would say millions, but only 60,000 got reparation. Again, ridiculous argument. So the next time you hear any black person crying about Asian reparations, using Asian reparations as the excuse for why black people aren't prospering in America, first and foremost, educate them. Let them know that they're not Asian reparations, that they're Japanese reparations. And you can destroy that argument as they make it. And this is what it's all about when it comes down to all this racist rhetoric. Destroy it when it comes out of their mouths. Obliterate that nonsense off the face of the map. And honestly, it won't be hard because they truly can't defend it. You know, I always say about the left or these racist black folks, these brainwashed blacks, they always arm themselves with the example, but they never arm themselves with the ability to defend it with any facts. Again, like I say, just destroy the arguments, y'all. But either way, y'all, as always, until next time. Good Lord.